Yeah. We talking truth over temple now. No hate, just history. Let's get it right.
Hey, turn me up, yeah. Just a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, you ain't a Mayan, you ain't a Toltec. You ain't the Quechua or the Olmec. And no Olmec ain't no Mex. Get the whole text. Identity theft, that's no flex. See, they look at stone lips, start calling it can.
This is Chahul village in eastern Guatemala. Isolated by mountains, Ixil Maya live here in extreme poverty. Illiteracy is high and opportunities for locals like Pedro are limited. He earns less than $3 a day cutting corn. There's no running water or electricity in his home, and none of his children go to school.
It makes me sad. When I wake up, I think of my children, how to get them food to eat and clothes. Life is difficult. We don't have much chance for a better life.
Pedro's 17-year-old son, Matias, dreams of leaving the village.
It's not a life. All I want is to find a respectable job in the city, to have a family, and a life in a real house.
Historically, the Mayas in the country have faced major challenges. In the 16th century, the population was devastated by epidemics brought by Spanish colonizers. More recently, many of the Mayas were killed in Guatemala's civil war that ended in 1996.
¡Alto! ¿Eres dónde está? ¡Párese!
¿Nos puede decir quién está buscando?
¿Quién estamos buscando?
Sí.
A los subversivos.
¿Y para qué es lo que ustedes están peleando contra ellos?
Hasta ahorita no. Yo no le puedo decir.
No sabe.
No.
Pero
No
debe
puede.
saber por qué está peleando ustedes, ¿verdad?
No, yo no sé muy bien. Nosotros estamos cumpliendo con nuestro deber aquí.
It was as director of the school that Rios Montt established his ties with the young officers. One of the reasons they made him president was that his reputation for integrity might persuade the United States to resume military aid. Rios Montt's first loyalty, however, is to the army, but many of the officers are ill-educated, groomed in the soldiering of terror.
So you don't think these people have been through enough? And now you want to play a role in their genocide? By trying to erase them and assume their identities? Demonic.
Porque también, hijo, hoja jaldea o hoja camanón también, cachopón camachet, cachopón casarón, chagreno cuilcoj, pampín, panquiche, cachopón ca arma, porque maholojicta chiquicachari Guatemala. Más y le en que anchinaji camanón, más y cansanica chiquep taqueji ca enemigos, re soldados, re huejomi, re gobierno. Entonces, por eso Wilcoch y Jojo guerrillero. Por eso cachicoj y una chipelete Jojo cachica coleme catenamit, porque mancachta chic chine que jotarik. Wilikta que kamanik pantak hacienda he. Re hacienda irutoj Genaj miserias y campesinos o yascamanom, y lo demás reres irwan aprovechar, reres mancamanictaj. Aguachincamanic.
Today, basic health remains an issue, with 17% of the indigenous population suffering from malnutrition, according to the UN. The Mayas also face political obstacles, with most of the power in the country in the hands of Guatemalans of Spanish descent.
Guatemala City is a modern metropolis where one can find every convenience in its fine hotels. And yet, a few blocks away in the marketplace, where the descendants of the ancient Mayas barter and trade as did their ancestors 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, you ain't a mine, you ain't a Toltec. You ain't the Quechua or the Olmec. And no Olmec ain't no Max, get the whole text. Identity theft, that's no flex. See, they look at stone lips, start calling it can. Judging by features, not culture within. Genetics say different, the records don't bend. But we love a myth if it make us win.
Amatitlan is a small village on the shores of Lake Amatitlan, which is a smart resort area for the people of Guatemala City. The Indians come from miles around to hold their market under a huge tree. The churches in these ancient towns and villages were built by the Spanish over 300 years ago. Chichicastenango is probably the most colorful Indian market in the world today. Indians travel dozens of miles with 100-pound or more loads on their backs to attend the Sunday market and worship God in their quaint way on the steps and inside of the century-old church. The Indians from a particular town always wear the same costume, so you can tell their hometown by merely looking at their clothing.
So my question is, if African Americans are the real Mayans and those murals depict the African Americans' ancestors, I want to know, who are these people? Still living in the same territories, still dressing the same, still carrying out the traditions. I'm trying to figure out, who the fuck are they? I mean, is it me, or are we looking at footage from the early 20th century of these people living in cities, of these people doing trade at the market? Like, did they create all of this just to fool the African Americans? I mean, is Guatemala in on it too? I don't understand. Everybody in the world is conspiring against the African American? That's what we're supposed to believe? Every nation in the world is conspiring against African Americans to the point where they will build entire cities to continue the fraud. Or pardon me, is that a Tartarian city? I'm so confused. Are these real or are these AI? Huh? I'm baffled by the delusion of our African American brothers and sisters. Baffled.
One of the most common claims circulating online today is that African Americans are actually the descendants of the Maya, the Olmec, the Toltec, the Inca, the Quechua, or other indigenous civilizations of Mesoamerica and South America. It's an idea that resonates with many people because they're searching for identity and connection. But when we compare that claim against the historical evidence, it simply doesn't hold up. Let's start with something everyone agrees on. These civilizations were real, highly sophisticated societies that developed in the Americas over thousands of years. The Maya built cities, developed one of the world's most advanced writing systems, and still have millions of descendants living throughout Guatemala, Belize, Mexico, and Honduras today. The Quechua language is still spoken by millions across Peru, Ecuador, and Bolivia. Indigenous communities connected to these civilizations never disappeared. They're still here. Now compare that with the documented history of African Americans. The overwhelming majority descend primarily from West and West Central Africans who were brought to North America through the transatlantic slave trade. That history isn't based on one source. It's supported by shipping manifests, plantation records, church documents, census records, family histories, archaeology, and modern genetic research. None of those lines of evidence point to African Americans descending primarily from the Maya, Olmec, Inca, or other ancient American civilizations. That doesn't mean native ancestry doesn't exist among African Americans. It absolutely does. Many Black American families have documented indigenous ancestry through generations of intermarriage and shared communities, especially in the Southeast, the Mid-Atlantic, and parts of the Northeast. But having native ancestors is very different from saying an entire population was actually one of these ancient civilizations. A lot of these arguments rely on appearance. People point to the Olmec colossal heads, or they compare facial features, hair textures, or skin tones. But appearance alone has never been a reliable way to determine ancestry. Human populations often develop similar physical traits independently, and ancient artists weren't creating passport photos. They were producing symbolic works that reflected their own artistic traditions. Another source of confusion comes from historical language. European explorers used words like black, brown, copper, swarthy, and dark to describe many different populations. Those words did not carry the same racial meanings they often do today. Reading modern definitions back into centuries-old documents can create conclusions the original writers never intended. It's also worth remembering that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. If the Maya, Olmec, Toltec, Inca, or other civilizations had actually been African American populations, we would expect to find consistent archaeological evidence, genetic continuity, linguistic connections, written records, and support across multiple academic disciplines. We simply don't. Instead, what we find is overwhelming evidence connecting those civilizations to the indigenous peoples whose descendants are still living in the Americas today. None of this diminishes African American history. In fact, it does the opposite. African Americans have one of the most remarkable histories of resilience anywhere in the world. They survived the transatlantic slave trade, built communities under unimaginable conditions, created enduring cultural traditions, and transformed nearly every aspect of American life. That history doesn't need to be replaced by someone else's to be meaningful. Likewise, Indigenous peoples deserve to have their own histories respected without having their identities reassigned to fit modern narratives. The truth is actually more interesting than the myth. African and Indigenous histories do intersect. Families mixed, communities form together. Some people today legitimately descend from both, but shared ancestry, shared struggle, or cultural exchange doesn't make two distinct civilizations the same people. If our goal is to honor our ancestors, then the best place to start is by following the evidence wherever it leads, not where we'd prefer it to go. Because respecting history means respecting the people who actually lived it.
Spend some time alone. Understand that soon you're on with better men. Alone again. Alone again. Alone again. Alone again.
Yo, I seen the rise of the internet priests selling smoke screens, coach your own lease. They saying we the Olmec, we the Mayan beast, but no scrolls, no bones, no receipts. They trade facts for likes, truth for memes. Live streaming delusions, selling half-baked dreams, screaming government schemes while they build their teams. Whole world watching irony supreme. I'm from a block where the pain was proof. We ain't need fake roots, we just spoke our truth. Now they scroll instead of learn while aloof. Screaming woke, but the mind uncouth. Ayo, logic is the new revolution. Truth, telling the real restitution. Forget illusion, face confusion. We can't heal if we won't trust evolution.
Word, facts, straight up. Build on that, build on that.
Sean P, they see demons and reflections. Corner can't tell fiction from the lessons. Both conspiracy ain't clarity, dog. Apply a little sense and stop stressing.
All of the ancestors that are here present today, that means all of your ancestors, all of our ancestors, and all of the spirits of the ancestors that used to reside in this area, with all of the indigenous native nations that were residing here prior to us being here today. And if you would like to salute your ancestors as well with us, all you have to do is stand in place and move into the same directions in which we're blowing this caracol. We're calling up to the universe with these atecocolis, with this poposcomit and the popal, and we're going to give thanks. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more big round of applause for the last time this weekend here in our Arena, the fabulous Aztec dancers. Thank you very much. Let them hear you, let them know you liked what you saw. Beautiful presentation, and again, very educational. We do thank you.
Yeah. We talking truth over temple now. No hate, just history. Let's get it right.
Hey, turn me up, yeah. Just a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, you ain't a mind, you ain't a Toltec. You ain't the Quechua or the Olmec. And no Olmec ain't no Max, get the whole text. Identity theft, that's no flex. See, they look at stone lips, start calling it can. Judging by features, not culture within. Genetics say different, the records don't bend. But we love a myth if it make us win. Van Sertima sparked that talk in the 70s. Wrote they came before Columbus with no remedy. But no artifacts, no ships, no memory. Just wishful links and rhetoric energy. Leo Wiener tried the same old spin, saying African tongues was the origin. But every real archaeologist laughed him in. No proof in the soil where they start digging. I ain't tearing down roots, I'm showing you truth. We got rich legacies we barely review. Don't steal someone else when you build one too. We royal already, don't bend that view. Yeah. What? See the lips, see the features. That don't make you teacher or preacher. If you don't know the soil or the ritual codes, then you ain't walked that road. Yeah, you ain't a mind, you ain't a Toltec. You ain't the Quechua or the Olmec. And no Olmec is not Olmecs, you can find decks. Identity theft, that's no flex. Don't steal their legacy, don't twist the context. They story sacred, respect the context. If you ride that wave just to hype your image, you build a house on sand, that's hollow privilege. Real talk. Let the truth breathe, stand on facts, not feelings.
Also, Iroquois eatery down and down. Appreciate it.
Now I ain't saying Africans ain't cross
So
seas,
down.
but show me the proof, not a YouTube map. No boats, no beads, no DNA rap. Just a theory that sounds like a comfort nap.